Hi, thanks for watching Breaking New Ground, the show where we look at housing and how it affects you. I'm Eric Mieni. Over the past 2 weeks, we looked at how our country's history and the large number of people moving into the big cities impacts on the delivery of housing in South Africa. In a nutshell, most townships were built far away from where people worked, forcing them to travel long distances. And even though the government has built over 2 million houses, the huge number of people moving into the big cities means that we are simply not building houses fast enough. So what do we do about this? One of the solutions, according to our government, is building integrated human settlements, places where you can live, that are close to where you work, with easy access to community facilities like clinics, schools, and parks. Cato Manor, lying on the edge of the Durban metropolis, was once an integrated settlement of Indian and African communities. The 1950s and 1960s were a time of racial tension, protest, and forced removals, leaving the area vacant for over 2 decades. It is now home to an estimated 100,000 people, many of whom settled in the area through mass land invasions that happened in the late 1980s and early 1990s.
The way it happened was that it was more like an organized way of people coming back to Cator Manor, yet it wasn't organized at all. People were just running away from the difficult circumstances they were faced with at that time, and also looking for a better place to stay, and also looking for a place which would be closer to the city in terms of employment opportunities.
Ngihlala eNewcastle. eNewcastle ngasuka nabelungeza la eThekwini. Uma ngifika la eThekwini ngangisebenza eGlenwood. eGlenwood ngasebenza khona ngase ngizwa kuthiwa kuyakhiwa lana. Nami ngase ngiza ngizokwakha ngoba ikhaya lami lalikude. Kwakumnandi ukuzohlala la eMkhumbane ngoba kwakuseduze neTheku. Uyakwazi nokuthi uhambe ngeenyawo sisondezela nendaba zomsebenzi. Okwakukubi ikhona nje ukuthi ngoba babengafuni ukuthi sakhe khona besixosha. Like Cator Manor ngihlale about ngiyacabanga ukuthi 17 years. Uma kusukela kulonyaka engafika ngawo. Okususelana ukuthi ngoba benza i-development base besisusa ke besithatha besisa kuma holding area bathi asambe solinda khona kuzothi uma sekuqediwe bese beyasibuyisa.
In areas where the housing couldn't be built, where there was a lot of informal settlements, then they looked at in situ upgrade. And some of the people were moved from those areas to make way for road infrastructure, to make way for a sewerage system, to make way for water connections. And some of the people were not happy to be moved into a temporary site. And but that happened because people had to be moved, but also be housed appropriately.
Ekumnandi ukuhlala kule ndawo ngoba kuseduzane uma ngabe ngiya emsebenzini nokuthi nje kumnandi sine transport iningi. Kwesinye isikhathi ngihamba ngeenyawo ngemsebenzini. Konke ebengikwenza ngisesasa Cator Manor namanje still futhi ngisakwenza awukho umehluko khona. Laba engihleli nabo abazukulu bami ababili uma wabo Ntombi uZanele lo unomfundo lo ufunda eCato Crest eprimary lo ufunda eMayville Secondary kade enza u10 kulonyaka uselinda ama result ke manje.
This is my school. I was doing grade 12 here at Mayville Secondary. Our teachers, they are so cool. They teach very nicely. It was very nice. We have the study group while we are writing our exam. It was very nice. And next year, I think I will go to DUT for doing the paramedic. It is easy when I'm staying here at Mayville because the transports in the school, I can walk even if I want to go to school there, so I will attend my course.
There was very limited infrastructure when people moved back. But the planning that went into creating what you see now in Cator Manor was very much looking at how best can we accommodate people in Cator Manor to ensure that they are socially sustainable, but also look at the economic development. And a lot of infrastructure was put into place, where it looked at the schools, it looked at the clinics, it looked at community halls, and a whole lot of other things that actually make a community a community. As part of the national government strategy to deal with the co-op development and economic development in particular, here in Cato Manor, we've developed a program that look at supporting the co-ops in the area, but also look at how best do we involve them in the project that will actually generate income for them. I would say that Cator Manor is one of the most resourced area when it comes to healthcare services. We have 2 community health centers in Cator Manor, but also another thing is that we have Inkosi Albert Lutuli, which is very close by, and King Edward Hospital, which is very much close by. And to look at into healthcare in Cator Manor, what we've done was to look at an HIV/AIDS program, which is much more integrated, that looks at the number of service providers that are working in Cator Manor. We look at the NGOs, the CPOs, the health workers that are working in the area, and we've coordinated a working committee or a working structure to ensure that there is coordination, but also to look at how best can we utilize the limited resources that we have to ensure that everybody in the area is covered.
La enikhona kuse shopping center yala eCator Manor kuthiwa isemafrijini. Yila abantu bakhona uma befuna izinto ezizipesheli. Abafuna ukuthenga njengezinkwa noparafini ne-supermarket ekhona lana mhlawumbe bengenayo imali ukuthi baye edrobheni beza kule shopping center abazothenga khona. Lana khona nodokotela okhona la ngaphakathi. Uma ngabe ungenayo imali yokuthi uye ngale ubuze kulo dokotela lona. Nokuthi ke ne-transport iseduzane uyakwazi ukuthi ungasuka ngisho ngale komasipala uze ngala i-transport ugibele uma ingekho into oyidingayo la uyakwazi ukugibela edrobheni zila izinto zokuhamba eduzane.
Cator Manor is regarded as the largest inner city development in post-apartheid South Africa. When we come back, we explore the strategy behind this project. Welcome back to Breaking New Ground. Now that we've seen how having everything close to where you live can enhance the quality of your life, we've come here to Cator Manor to see how that can come about. Cator Manor is renowned historically for being a place of forced removals and struggle, protest, if you like. But it has since turned itself into a model of what is commonly referred to today as integrated human settlements. Now with me in the panel today are Patrick Makepula from the Federation of the Urban and Rural Poor. Welcome. We have Mark Mezelhorn, who is the CEO of the Projects Preparation Trust. We have Uma Manzini, who is one of the very first people to settle in Cator Manor, if you like, creating an informal settlement. And we have Clive Foster, who was the CEO of the Cator Manor Development Association, which turned this place into what it is today, and we'll hear more about that. And we have Coglin Pedha, who is the head of Department of Housing in the eThekwini municipality. Coglin, could you break down what an integrated human settlement actually is?
An integrated settlement will cater for everything that the people need, in a nutshell. So it will have facilities that will cater for their social development.
And what would those facilities be?
Those social facilities are like things where there's community halls where they could socialize. It enhances the interaction, it supports the community. Part of that will obviously be a municipal or government structure that will cater for things like pension payouts and things like that. Then you also need to look at the health services, and does it cater for the people's needs?
So that's a hospital?
hospital,
A
clinics.
clinic, perhaps.
Clinics. You can't have settlements where there are no schooling facilities because your biggest asset is the training and development of your communities and your people. So you need to cater for that. Then the big one is obviously economic development. Now, if you look at integration into that, it's pointless having all these facilities without the proper economic base to support the people in terms of job creation, skills development, and things like that.
So in an ideal world, I would have my school go where I live. They would have a clinic nearby, and I would have a job pretty near where it is. That's what we're trying to achieve.
Yes, the facilities for even recreation, which is an important aspect of the quality of life.
How do you prepare to get this done?
Going forward, the type of preparation that's going to be required is much more interactive and focused on transforming informal settlements over a period of time. And we're probably going to find that solutions, quick fix solutions, are going to be much harder to find for the urban poor. In a nutshell, the kind of preparation that has to take place is to firstly understand the people living there and to establish a working relationship with them. And the guys from the Homeless People's Federation and from FedUp enumerate settlements to understand the profile of the people living there. Who are they? What is their income level? What is their survival strategy? So I think that's key.
Uhulumeni uthatha isikhathi eside kakhulu. Nina niyabona ukuthi uthathiswa yini isikhathi noma ngokubona kwethu angashesha?
Besingaboni thina ukuthi kuthathiswa yini besingazi. Besingazi ngempela ukuthi kuthathiswa yini isikhathi. Besihleli nje silinde ukuthi ngaleso sikhathi uma sesakhelwe sibe sesiyakhelwa.
Okwamanje banokukhuluma nani seniyabona ukuthi kuthathiswa yini isikhathi?
Sesiyabona ukuthi kuthathiswa yini isikhathi ngoba phela manje ithina esaqala la eCato Crest yabo ukuthi sifake izindlu kodwa kwashesha ngala eCator Manor uyabona sabona kwakhiwa okwethu kwalokhu kusileka nje kusileka kodwa ke manje sesiyabona ke noma ke izinto zingaphelele ngoba phela akuphelele uyabona nje obakwakhiwe kule ndawo i-development ayikho ngoba awekho amapayipi endle awekho amanzi awukho ugesi kufakwa izindlu nje abantu bese befakelwa ama-toilet lapha eceleni bafakelwa ama-toilet emuva la athuthwayo ngamabhakede namanzi awekho kwalapha emgwaqweni.
Do you think this is a viable solution, having, this integrated human settlement approach?
Yeah, it is viable, but I think it needs a deep involvement of people.
And by people you mean?
I mean people living in informal settlements and people who have no homes.
People who need the actual integrated human settlements.
Yes.
And is government not engaging them enough right now?
I think you have your local ward committees and councillors, but we have to remember that those type of committees deal with mostly political issues. You see, if you depoliticize the development, and then I think these will open up. If you look at your original development committees when there were no local governments, that used to work with your NGOs, there was much more transparency and clarity and around issues. That is one of the issues. But this integrated developments need good enumeration programs where people understand the living conditions of people. This is the most difficult part, the dirty work, the groundwork. And this is what the Federation of the Urban Poor brings to the table. Working with different institutions that go house to house, doing proper talking and interaction with people in those shacks. Where do you come from? Why do you live here? Are you working? Would you like, who is schooling? Because you see, in a lot of communities, you find there are schools built where they are not even needed. And this comes right back when people start resisting to move, and then you start asking questions. Why are these people resisting to move? The questions that should have been asked before the development. Yeah. Land must be identified and made transparent. That this is land for development, this is land for this. This made transparent, everyone look at it. And I don't think you'll have all these problems about trying to create an integrated city or trying to have developments on the ground.
So there's no debate. Integrated human settlements are the way to go, but it's the how that we're trying to refine. Yes. But how did Cator Manor do it, Clive? Because this is sounding more and more like a an amazing example of how it can be done. What did you guys do right at the Cato Manor Development Association to get it right?
Well, one thing is a little bit different at that time is that we had special funds. So we were able, for example, to build the schools using European Union money, for example, and then only involve the education department in taking over and running the schools. Nowadays, but in other areas, one has to get, equally working with the people, you have to weld the various sections of government together in a team. You have to have the education department following the same program that you are. You have to have the police on board. You have to have your various sections of the municipality. And everybody has to work together as a team and integrate their activities. Now that's a difficult task. And it requires quite sophisticated management and leadership from whoever is the development coordinator, which is usually local government now. It's around forming a partnership with the community, as Pat was talking about. It's forming a partnership between the different arms of government that is central to the success, and partly why it takes some time to do.
Right. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll look at how we can turn existing settlements into well-functioning communities and what the government is doing about it. After 17 years of living in the vicinity of Cator Manor, Zoto Manzini's life is finally coming together. Let's take a look at how she benefits from living in this integrated human settlement.
The SMME program mainly looks at developing the people that are involved in business. And we have different categories of those people, those that are operating from home, others are street vendors, and others are working at our different economic hives. And those that are working in those different economic hives, we have a program that looks at business skills, it looks at financial management, it looks at how people can actually put their marketing strategies. We appoint different consultants to come and assist them and mentor them as well.
For many years, Mama Manzini has worked as a seamstress in this community. Attending SMME courses has given her the opportunity to broaden her horizon and look to expanding her business.
Okuningi ebengingakwazi maqondana nebhizinisi ngoba njengoba namabhola nje sengiyawazi kahle kakhulu. Ziningi nje izinto engiyizuzile kakhulu. Singathunga nginesitifiketi engasithola. So kwenza amabhizinisi ngangena kuma database ngangena eindaweni eziningi. Zuze nje into eziningi emaqondana nebhizinisi ngoba mafuna ukuvula ibhizinisi nje ngalivula noma yikephi la ngifisa khona.
Her latest project involves the manufacture of soccer balls for the 2010 World Cup. It has meant learning a few more skills and understanding how she could apply herself in areas of business she had never considered before.
I-project lesa yamabhola sayithola ngaba kwa-ABM. Kwathi makufika umlungu ekuthiwa Chris wafuna ama-co-op azomenzela ibhola. Kunomunye untombazane esinayeke lana wakwaZondi ubonisiwe. Kwathola lithi yena wenolwazana oluncane wesehamba eyakhona-ke. Wesethi ayisiyayidinga. Wesesiqoqa-ke sonke-ke njenge-co-op. Sabuya-ke seza noma kwakukhona okunye sasingakwazi. Kodwa-ke safundisana wazohamba we-Greytown wayofunda bebabili babuya-ke safunda-ke. Hayi namhlanje ibhola sesilenza njengoba asisangabazi. Kusho ukuthi uma ngahle liqhubeke ngempela kube lethu liye phambili kusho ukuthi kukhulu esingalizuza kulona. Noma-ke lisabheda-ke nje kancane. Kodwa nje khona siyabona ukuthi uma ngahle kuqhubeke hayi kukhulu esingakuzuza. Ngisihlalile la eCato Crest sihlala eMjondolo kodwa ke manje awusahamba saye emathinini lapha emathinini silinde khona njoba silindile ke khona ke emathinini ke izona izindlu zethu lezi sakhelwa zona sijabuliswa ukuthi nje izindlu sizoyithola noma ngabe ziyincane singezukwazi ukuthi impahla yethu ingene kahle kodwa sibonga khona lokhu nje siphume eMjondolo endaweni ibizindlu beyinetha sizongena kulezi zindlu zethu kuzodependa ukuthi siyakwazi ukuthi extend zibe enkulu ngoba ngeke uzuthi uzowakhela indlu enkulu ngoba uyayiphiwa lendlu awuyikhokhela imali. Ngakho ke sibonga kona ke lokho nje ukuthi nje sesizobuya noma singazi ukuthi sobuya nini. Kodwa nje siyazi ukuthi nje izindlu zethu sezikhona. Yiloko nje kusikhulula iKator Place sikade sahlala sihlele emjondolo kodwa manje sesiyabona hayi cha. Ushintsho likhona.
Welcome back. We've seen how the new integrated settlements add value to people's lives. But we've got millions of people living in communities that are not yet integrated. How do we help them? How do you quickly integrate people into like what is the now South Africa?
This is not a quick solution. And I think even this is what where we have to shift the thinking in South Africa. Take this pressure off by being upfront with people and saying housing is a process and that people have to understand that because it's their government, they have to contribute to that. And I think this is our biggest battle now, in trying to change people's minds to accept that they have to contribute.
I mean, one of the things about integrated human settlements is that it's all incomes, all educational levels, everybody together, so you don't have pockets of poverty. What do we do with the pockets of poverty we've created in our rush to deliver houses?
The problem is that we have a paradigm where we want things to change overnight. And it's not going to happen for capacity reasons, for funding reasons. And therefore, what needs to happen is a process of engagement with those people so that you can start to bring development to them while they're waiting for housing or the perfect housing solution to be provided, because that will often take quite a long time.
If you look around the city as well, there are large economic nodes being developed, so much so to create those economic opportunities so people can get jobs in and around those areas. For example, if you look around the big KwaMashu area, that was a very, very large former township area. Now there's a whole bridge city development that creates thousands of jobs, and that will help people to gain some employment there and to progress further from there.
Ikusasa lakho libona kanjani la Cator Manor?
Ikusasa lami ngilibona kahle liqhakazile eCator Manor ngoba umasipala uzame ngokuthi asifundise. Usifundise ngama co-ops. Kade sivele sithunga thina eContainer Park. Kusho ukuthi bafika kumasipala basilethela abantu abazosifundisa ngama co-ops ukuthi masingama co-ops kufanele sibe abantu abanjani senzeni kanjani. Uthe sesifundisile kulokho wabuye futhi wazo sinikeza umsebenzi wokuthunga amabhola soccer ball azodlala ngo2010. Kusho ukuthi imisebenzi yethu nje angiboni right uma ngahle kwenzeke ngempela kusho ukuthi eminyakeni ethile soba abantu aba right.
Sibonge kakhulu ukuthi uze la ku Breaking New Ground man.
Ngiyabonga nami ngibonge kakhulu.
Thank you very much for coming, Patrick. Mark.
Clive Coughlin.
And to you, thank you very much for watching this edition of Breaking New Ground. Please join us again next week when we pose your hard questions to the Minister of Housing.